What is this, mine?
What up, what up, what up? Why is that bootleg, right? Putting my face in the camera like that. What up, what up, what up, Facebook? I need you to come on in the room. Come on in the room today. It's the Living Well Live. You want me to sing my song?
Yes.
Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Jesus is my doctor. I gotta sing it. He writes out all of my prescriptions. He gives me all of my medicine. Where? In the room. All right, clap to the chat. Clap to the chat. Welcome. Welcome, welcome to the Living Well Live. I cannot see, and I don't like. Oh, you know what? I got my laptop. Baby, I need you. I got my laptop back. My laptop. I can actually have it to be able to look at comments at some point, right?
Oh, wait, hold up.
Isn't this what we're talking about tonight? The wife conversations. Welcome, y'all. Oh, I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Lord, I'm still growing in my podcast. But hopefully we don't get disturbed too bad. Welcome, y'all. Okay, so my guests are here tonight. Baby, over here. Over here. Oh, you won't come around. I have guests tonight. Welcome to the Wife Conversations. I am here tonight with my girls. Well, I got it, baby. I just wanted you to hand it to me. Thank you. You're so wonderful. You are so awesome and helpful. That's what you're going to learn tonight, how to speak to your man. Okay? How to speak into your king. Okay? All right, y'all. So, my girls are here tonight. I'm so excited. I'm going to introduce you to them. Let them introduce themselves. We are very grateful for you joining. This is the Living Well Live podcast. And tonight is episode 2 in the series of the Wife Conversation. And I have some wives in the building tonight. I have my girl, my sis, Michelet Knight. Claps in the chat for Michelet. I have my girl, my sis, Sharae Brown. Claps in the chat for Sharae. And the amazing Philly chick, Miss Pop Out Boutique in the building. Kia Barhill Martin. Put your hands together. I'm so happy to have you tonight, ladies.
We're happy to be here.
Thank you so much for being here tonight. So, all right. I'm going to do an introduction, but before I do that, I want you to introduce yourself to the Living Well. If you could just share your name, I already said your name, but whatever you would like to share. Share some things about you, your husband, if you want to share him, and how long you've been married. Okay.
Well, she already said my name. I'm Michelet Knight, married to Ty Knight. Hey, babe. I see you already know. But we have been married for 9 years. We've been together a total of 15 years.
Yes.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you getting wisdom tonight. They have been together 15 years? 15 years total, married for 9, and I was at their wedding. All right, Sharae.
I'm Sha.
Sha.
My husband is Eric Brown. He in the building live in effect.
And live in the building. Clock that tea.
Over there eating.
We're the... Hey, don't talk about my husband. I guess I'm supposed to say that. We have been married. It'll be 11 years in April.
Yeah.
And we have been together for a long, no sir. Almost 14 years in June.
All right. Wonderful. 14 years. I love it. Kia.
Hi, I'm Kia. I'm married to Travis Martin. We've been married for going on 16 years, May 29th. And we've been together for going on 20 years in February. Wait, hold on.
You ain't missed the anniversary. Did you miss the anniversary?
19. There was 19 years in February of this year.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, we are we got some years in these relationships, in these marriages. And so I'm grateful. One of my prayers over the years I've shared before was that God send me saved friends. And saved friends, not just saved friends, but saved friends who accepted me for me, like in all of my glory and all of my faults and all of my personality quirks and all of that. I've been at Faith at our church that we attend. We all go to church together, and I've been there for 27 years, right? So it's been a long time waiting. So I just wanted to say before we get started that I appreciate you, and I thank God for y'all. I thank God for hearing my prayer. I know what he did for you, but I know what he did for me. Okay. And I'm saying I thank him for hearing my prayer and bringing women in my age range also that share. I love my girls, and my girls who my girls, you know, that I have lifelong relationships with, they know that. But I just wanted to just specify how grateful I am. Also married women who it does not, you know, affect our friendship if I'm unavailable to talk or respond immediately, because y'all spending time with your man just as much as I'm doing, you know. And I have to be intentional about making time for friendships. And some of my friends, like Samantha, y'all know Samantha, she has given me, hey Sam, I'm gonna have her up here too. But she's given me so much grace over the years. In the times that I wasn't available to hang out with her or things like that, because you know, I have a husband and he's, you know, all up in my space, you know what I'm saying? In my skin at all times, you know? And so that's one of the things, that wasn't really something that we talked about, but don't pay it. He is not here. That wasn't really something we talked about, but because of this, the type of dynamic we have, I wanted to kind of kick it off with, how do you maintain your identity and friendships and relationships outside of your home? You know, I think that's something that I've struggled with, in all honesty, like literally have lost friends over, because, you know, it's just your man. I'm like, you know, I'm trying not to be ignorant and say, and I wish the same for you, baby girl. But you know, how do you maintain identity? Whoever want to start first with what you think. Sorry, it was tripping.
I'm really appreciative of this relationship too, because I'm appreciative of this relationship too, because I feel as though it was the same for me, like what Rachel said. Like, I felt like I lost all my girlfriends. Yeah. I love y'all. But, you know, because I chose my marriage, or chose to really be, you know, in tune with my marriage. Right. And, you know, a lot of my girlfriends were single and or had relationships, but not married. So, so now, again, just me reiterating that I'm appreciative of this friend group. Not only are we married, but we are godly women, and we're learning things, and we talk to each other. And so, they just kind of fizzled out, and I was sad, I was hurt, you know, and I miss them at times, you know, and but still, sometimes you gotta, you know, it's your family, and you know, some things just doesn't align with where you're going. And that's okay, because you know you're married, you have your family, so absolutely. So that's basically, you know, I got like a couple girlfriends that I still, you know, talk to, and but they do respect the fact that, because me, I'm all for, like, even when I was single, like, you married, oh my God, girl, you married, that's awesome. What your husband doing? Right. You know what I mean? So that was me, but like, you got some people that just kind of have these, you know, secret, you know, feelings that they feel, and that's just something that they got, you know what I mean? Absolutely. And they make you feel like, well, what am I doing wrong? Right. But you get what I'm saying? Absolutely. So, so that's all I really got to say about it. But
for me, if I do have anyone like that, they've done a great job hiding it. I can honestly say I've never been one to have a lot of friends anyway. I still am very close to two of my friends from high school. We've been best friends since high school. And everybody else around me closely are my siblings, and so it's different.
Yeah.
I have a couple, like my oldest sister, she's not married yet, but has been with her man, and is headed that way. But like the majority of the rest of us are married, so I don't really have that. I don't like people.
Right.
So
So it don't matter. So it works out for you. That works out for you.
Okay.
Noted. Noted. And as I've gotten older, I kind of feel the same way. I think it's a reaction.
You like cool word, but
Yeah.
Bye. What Sharon say?
Right.
The gift of
The
bye-bye.
The gift of bye-bye, and that's hard for me because I am a people person, so it's been kind of hard for me, but but I love myself to the point where like I've recently fell in love with myself, and when I say recently, I mean like in the last few years. I really like fell in love with myself, really embraced myself, and so when I feel those things that used to hurt me, those things people used to say and treat me a certain way because of that, it doesn't bother me anymore. I stopped chasing friendships. I learned to be confident in me, and if this ain't for me, it's not for me. So you got anything you want to say?
I can speak to that a little bit. For me, it was never like I never received like what Kia was saying, any feedback like that. For me, it was the opposite. I had to learn how to pull away. I was the one who thought that I could still stay on the phone for hours with my friends and everything be okay, and not allocating the time to my husband. So I had to learn how to prioritize. And honestly, I didn't do it on my own. God did it.
Yeah.
He shook some things up, and everything came in line. So I had to learn the hard way. And like Kia said, it hurt me to my core because I value friendship and I love hard. So when it did happen for me, it kind of took me down for a minute. But like, God blesses. He replaces. And,
Just like you said, I was raised, and I think it's like a gift and a curse now. Like being an adult, we were raised, y'all need no friends, all y'all got. So it was easy. And like, if one of my cousins or something like that upset me, oh yeah, it's a problem. Something like that.
More
But
so.
because we all we got, we all we need.
Yeah.
So closed off for a long time.
Got you.
So I guess I didn't even get. I like I said, bittersweet. Give me
Yeah.
first. I didn't
And
even
I'm
get
the
that.
total opposite of that. So being the only child, you want the friends, and
yeah.
and I was attached to childhood friends, and not that we're still not friends, but sometimes when seasons change, I'm the type of person who thought that I could take everybody with me.
Me too.
And not just I know we're speaking on marriage, but just I want everybody to be happy.
Right.
I got
Yes.
it. You got it. That's just how I am.
Yeah.
And so, marriage, learning that, and I shared this with y'all today, learning that marriage becomes your first ministry is like, okay, God, I see what you're doing. So, that's my take.
That's good. And you gave me what I was going to go into next. But I'm going to kind of go by, I try to stick to the script. It doesn't work all the time, but I try. Because I do want this to be about you as a wife,
Yeah.
So, give me one word that you think describes you as a wife.
Lover.
A lover.
I love her.
Love a girl in the building.
Period.
Protector.
Protective.
Resilient.
Gotta be resilient in marriage. I tried to think over this last week what I think my word was. I'm gonna marinate on it a little bit more throughout this, and hopefully as we talk, I can talk through it and think of a word. What's one thing you wish you knew before you got married?
I didn't come from marriage
Right.
as a whole. I didn't. It was never on my list to be married.
Speak up. We gotta speak up, y'all.
It wasn't on my list. as something I knew I wanted kids. I knew all of that, but I never said I wanted a husband. Again, we have a lot of siblings, but there is only one of us with mom and dad. Everybody else is just daddy, kids. So, and then we all came together. It was fun. Everything, you know, it was just like we. I didn't come from it, so I didn't have an expectation. It was just like I want a big family, and that's it. I had no expectation.
I think I'll say for me, I did premarital counseling before. We did premarital counseling. Apostle McKenzie married us, and she would not marry you if you didn't do counseling first, right? So we did counseling, and I just kind of came to the thought. The being equally yoked thing. I wish I knew how much more important that was. And not in religion,
right?
And because me and my husband do come from two different belief systems. And I just always thought, okay, I said, if I'm the best Christian I'll be, and you the best, Jehovah's Witness that you can be, then we'll be the best parents and we'll be the best for each other. That was in religious aspect. But then, and somebody said this in the comments, being equally yoked in finances, being equally yoked in the plan for your life and your future, being equally yoked. And it was like I saw marriage, right? But in my sisters. My mom and my dad divorced when I was 5. And then my mom got with my stepdad, so had a good little stretch of time with him, but she wasn't married my whole life. So my version of marriage, my sister Rhonda got married when I was 8. I was her flower girl. And Lisa got married when I was 10 because they're so much older than me, right? So Shelly's married. Shelly only been married a couple years longer than me. But I saw their marriages. So from the time I was 8 till I was 10, I saw it. And they were kind of on the same age. So I didn't really know what it was. Right. And because I had been with my husband since we were teenagers, it was like, well, we are equal. This is what we do. But I do wish I understood more the importance of being equally yoked in all areas. Because I think it definitely makes a difference. That's something. And somebody did, Apostle did, I'm sure, try to share it with us. But when your mind is made up, your mind is made up. You're not going to change. What I'm going, this is my man. You can say what you want, but I'm going to marry him. You know. What about you, Mish? What's something you wish you knew?
To that. So we did have marriage counseling with Apostle. We started with Apostle, but because of her schedule during the time, she transitioned us to Bishop. Shout out to Bishop if he on. But so going through having Apostle's take and then having Bishop take, it was a lot. So when you sent us that question, I was like thinking hard because I had sight to marriage, and not from my mother, but like from people in my family. So having sight to marriage, I didn't really know what to expect, but I would say marriage is a mirror. So seeing myself in someone else with the things that we have alike, and then the things that we may differ on. So just seeing that was something that I didn't, expect, and I'm stubborn and was bullheaded at the time. So that good stuff.
I feel that.
Well, I think I've always wanted to, like, since I was a little girl, because I used to like sing at weddings, like when I was like 4 or 5, like literally singing like the Lord's Prayer, like can't even pronounce the word, like
Okay,
right. But just like, and I grew up in a 2-parent home. My dad was like
we know about your daddy, girl.
Hey, Dad, like so. Just seeing him be like the leader, like I just was like in awe, like about him. And he has some struggles, and this ain't about him, but I'm just saying, like, growing up, but he hit them well. I will say that, but always provided for my family, and so just seeing that, I I always would be like, I want a man like my dad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I always felt like, if you ain't know my dad level, like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like,
what we talking about.
But, you know, so it was a little different, just giving anyone a chance when I wasn't married, you know, just because I'm mirroring my dad. And not saying I'm a married anybody
but he
you
set
date,
an
but
example.
still,
He set a standard.
He did.
Yes.
So, I've always, and I always wanted 2 sets of twins. This is a 2-set twin girly, but so I wanted to be married, and you know that's how y'all remember that game MASH?
Absolutely.
Yes. And I always would be married. I always would be married. But
She was definitely
I'm married again.
She knew exactly how many times.
I'm married again. But yeah, so I've always like looked at marriage like so beautiful. Like I used to be literally crying, y'all, at like 6. They like, "Kid, why you crying?" Like, but y'all know me anyway. But I'm just saying, like, so I knew I always wanted to be married.
Yeah.
Now again, I know we're gonna get into some more questions later on. It ain't a game, ladies. It's not a game. You gotta be like, but yeah, no. So I always looked at wanting to be a wife, wanting to be having a partner, a long time partner, just y'all sharing memories, having kids, like that type of thing. Because that's what my parents displayed, to us growing up. Like when we used to live, and my dad was like, "No, we not living here no more. We going here." Like, you get what I'm saying? Like just different things that, you know. So I've always looked at it like that, like going into it. So me personally.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Everybody, your the way you're raised, you know, Jerry, my husband, always says something to me. You're either gonna be who you were raised to be, what you saw, or the exact opposite. If you didn't like it, if you didn't like it, and if you didn't see marriage in your household, but you know that's something you wanted, you were going to create the best for you, or you were going to, you know, trick off. You know what I'm saying? Your whole life and do what you saw. So what we do in our life definitely affects, you know, how we are in marriage. And I think, you know, I had my niece on, Shay Shay. I said this was the second part of the series, but this is the third episode actually. But I had her on, and she had talked about her husband saying, you know, she comes from a family of dominant women. We are very dominant women. And he said, you know, you come from a family of dominant women, but that ain't gonna fly over here. So many words. And so the reason why I struggle with my word for marriage is because I felt like dominant was my word. And it embarrassed me a little bit. Not embarrassed me to other people, but to myself, because it's like, I want to be this submissive wife that they talk about. No, excuse me.
I don't know you talking Jeff.
What did you say? See, this is why I need a studio. Oh my God! Where he cannot hear what I'm talking about.
He probably said, "Listen." That's what he probably said. That's what Trevor be saying.
Bishop is here, y'all. Bishop Whitley is here. Thank you,
Bishop.
Thank you, ladies, for the transparency. First time listening and enjoying. Thank you, Bishop. I'm gonna shout out some of the people on here, but you know, I'm so excited. Normally, I'm looking at the camera, at the screen, and seeing the comments. But I'm excited to have y'all to talk to. But yeah, I feel like dominant is my word, but not because I have to be.
Right.
Because he got this.
Right.
It's just who I am
you are.
and who I've always been. And because my husband has I'm going to say meek personality. He's just not, he ain't got to be the loudest person in the room like his wife. He don't have to, you know, he don't have to be all that. He can just be, it's like quiet strength. Because he walk in the room and you know he's there. Right. His presence is felt, but you know, he's just not that. And so I kind of struggled with my trying to learn. Apostle, you know, she tried to teach me how to be a gentle woman.
Right. Yeah.
Speak to your king. He the king, you the queen. I struggle with it so bad, you know, and I catch myself, you know, trying to chill sometime or not tell him, baby, I need you to da 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 da. And I mean, I know that's what wifing is, and I know that's what marriage is, helping each other. But I struggle with being submissive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I make plans and don't
Tell
him
all
all the time. I start talking to him about I start talking to him about something, and he like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I told you this morning. He said, no, you didn't tell me. You told Shelly. You didn't tell me. You know, I struggle with that, and so that is something that that is humbling me.
Yeah.
And I'm working on.
Yeah.
So if you are, you know, what would you tell somebody who Sheree
like
said just call yourself a protector, and it's not dominant, but he
Jerry, come get your boy.
right, what are you doing? Y'all need to go outside. What y'all doing? Go outside. You change your clothes so y'all can go outside.
I'm cracking up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, how do you
Who help
submit?
us? Who can help us?
And
No,
if
we
we
can
have
help
some
y'all.
women's in the chat,
Help us.
if you help us to submit, you know, and I think everybody's household is different. Right? Everybody's household is different. It does not have to be.
Don't be smiling.
And cheese and too.
And what I said was DMX, and you know what you did.
Oh, okay. So my husband he said he married DMX.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I can be honest. Yes, I can be honest.
Not DMX.
He said he married DMX. My favorite rapper, low key.
Oh, okay. There you go.
It's the dog. Okay. He knew it when he met me. See, here's the thing. I haven't changed. I'm that same. You know, I may have wore little Jesus sandals. You know, may have always been a church girl, but I've always been very, very dominant.
Yeah.
He said he married DMX, and he said I got whole hands.
Rachel, you know
Look,
what?
now he looking down.
You looked at him not because of how they're shaped. He just
Just
said,
because.
chill. He really just wants me to chill.
Because you know what it is? Because I can attest to how you are. Because my husband is so similar to him.
Yeah.
But when he walk in the room, he could just look, and then I'll know. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you guys balance each other out. Because that's what it is.
Yes.
But I'm like that too. Because I feel like he's not moving fast enough.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I feel like I gotta.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's just who they are.
Yes.
They don't. We take one a lot, and we try to dissect everything, but they just do that one thing, and that's it.
And that's it.
And we
The only
want to
thing you say,
accept that,
that's
like
all
what
we're
we
gonna do, nothing else.
That's it, and that's it. But so I get it
Yeah.
because I struggle with that too. And when he does, like, babe, I already handled it. I'm like, oh,
Okay, right now, got something for you. Thank you.
but you know what I mean.
Yes.
So we do need to step back sometimes and let them lead,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
and just kind of let them be confident and knowing they're able to take care of it
Right.
and not, you know. And sometimes they may make mistakes. We all do. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
We make some mistakes. But yeah, I can attest to that too, Rachel, because I'm very like, and I don't get that from my mom though. I get that from my dad. And a lot of women in my family are like that too.
Yeah.
But my mom was very mellow. You get what I'm saying? Very quiet, shy. My dad was like people person, but
Yeah.
always take the role. And yeah, so I get
it. I
do.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Michelle, you the same way, so right?
She same way. She same way.
Ain't nobody helping us?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's it.
Can y'all help us?
They're laughing at our DMX.
Mothers.
Next topic, how not to be a dominant wife. Shay Shay said, what helped me was thinking before I speak or putting myself in his shoes. Because if you don't want him doing it to you, then don't do it to him.
That's
I had
good.
to tell myself that. That is very good,
That's
Shay.
good.
That's very good.
she
And
the
I'm
baby
working
of
on
the
that.
family.
Charlene
But
is
she
here.
got stuff.
Right,
Go
she
ahead,
helping us. She helping us. You know, I pray, like when I'm on the altar or when I'm in intercession, I've been praying, Lord, soften my heart,
Yeah.
God. soften my mind, slow me up, let me
Right.
think, help me to listen,
Right.
to not respond. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Or however they say it.
So to
Because
speak.
automatically, as soon as he starts saying, I'm preparing what I'm
Right.
going to say to counter that. And
Yeah.
so he makes it easy for me to be how I am.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? It's like if
Exactly.
you would bark back, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I might kind of
Well, I can speak. I have the
Jeez.
opposite.
Yeah.
So I don't have the
Girl.
If you know God, if everybody says your husband is so quiet, and he is.
Mm.
He is shy. He is. He is. But when it comes down, that's actually what attracted me to him. Because I had some less dominant relationships before. Well, I'm gonna say relationship before. And he just couldn't say no, and it just, that was unattractive. But when I got with Ty, he was kind of like, I'll use Shay and Kristen. She's been up here. He was like Chris, and I like that. I was like, okay, he puts his foot down. But once I got comfortable with him, that's when I turned back into that, like y'all are talking about now. And I have just learned how to be. We gonna keep speaking on Apostle, but she really shaped that. Being submissive, learning how to be a servant. And I'm gonna joke on teacher real quick because I went up to teacher and I was talking to her about. I said Apostle just really got Ty spoiled. I mean, I know I'm supposed to serve, but and teacher gave me a look like, and keep serving.
Oh my
Okay?
God.
Keep serving. And so I'll just walk
Love you,
away.
teacher.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
but
what
just.
you want me to
But
say?
just, just learning that has been hard, learning how to just shut my mouth, let him continue to rant or whatever. But yes, I like the fact that he, it's my balance when it comes to that. And I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it, but I've come a long way in that department from where I was. Yeah.
That's everybody.
Help us.
Yeah. Help us. More submission unto more submission to your husband. That's Bishop Whitley.
Yeah.
We working on it, Bishop. We working on it. You know what I'm saying? We working on it. And I think it's always a process.
Yeah.
It's a process. I'm gonna keep working on it, and when sometimes I catch myself. You know what I'm saying? I be in the middle about to say something and I and he actually helped me with something and he don't even know it. He'll be about to say something and he'll be like, shut up, boy. Shut up, boy. And I'll be like, no, don't shut up. Say what you was about to say. But I recognize that he's shutting himself up because he feels like, is this really necessary for me to say? And if I did that to myself a little bit more, maybe it would be a little bit easier. So I'm learning. I'm learning as I go and as I grow. Because it's a process. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about children, if we will. Or not really children, but marriage through the different seasons of our lives. Because we don't have to directly jump into that, but so me and Jerry had Yari before we got married. Yari was at our wedding, Flower Girl. I think we got married when she was 4, right? So we had time together before we had a child, but not a lot of time. So not marriage time. We just had, which is something that I think I try to share with people, younger people who getting married, like don't jump into having a child so quick. Let yourself enjoy your spouse first, because once it comes, it's like you gotta be a parent. You gotta you can't let them fend for themselves. So we all are at different stages in our, even though we've all been with our spouses for a good amount of time, at different stages in our marriage and parenting, and grown kids, whatever, or no kids just yet. So how has those different seasons of your life impacted your marriage? And I'm gonna be specific for a little bit, right? So something I share with Shiree, and we talked about this, so everybody, this is a safe space to talk about these things. But I had a miscarriage 4 or 5 months before we got married, right? We had already had a child. We had Yari, but I had a miscarriage 5 months before we got married. Shiree, I know you have lost a child. grief is really what I'm talking about. And you can grieve something that you never had. You
Right.
know, and people say you can't miss what you never had, but you definitely can. How has grief impacted your marriage of a child? Because you know that's something that happens. How has it? And that's a big jump. I know I went from you know we ha he and, you know, but it's all going to come full circle. And it doesn't have to just be child loss because you know I've lost my mother. We've lost parents, you know, Michelle, we shared that as well, and not having our mothers, and you know, you grew up, you know, without your mother for the most part. So I just want to jump into that because that's been a really hard part of my marriage, is the grief and how it affected my husband when he lost his mom, when we lost Apostle, our spiritual mom, you know, when I lost my mom, when we lost our baby. How has grief impacted how you are as a wife, how you are as a mother, how you are as a daughter-in-law, you know, etc.?
So I don't even know if everybody knows this because it just Keisha is not Eric's biological child. So Keisha and Kevin, her twin brother, was from a previous relationship. Born at 23 weeks. She'll be 18 on Thursday. Wasn't supposed to live. They told me we got to go to the delivery room, but they're not gonna make it. Okay. She was supposed to be retarded, blind, in a wheelchair, all of that. So every day, I thank God for her. And so me and Eric got together when she was almost 4 years old.
Okay.
But he just jumped right in with it. Like every birthday, my son's death anniversary, we at the cemetery. Like he just full-fledged, just like it. I don't know if it like accepted it or what, but he just joined right in. We weren't even married yet. You know, we didn't get married until after Eden and Eli. But he just. It's just like he just didn't miss a beat with it, and any given moment, and I'm just crying, and I'm just like, okay, like here we go, and he'll give me my space, but he's there, like I could feel like I'm alone, but he gonna be sitting right, just waiting for me to get back to where I need to be. He's been with me through the loss of my grandmother, and when it hurted him like bad. My little brother passed, the baby of the bunch. Tore Eric up, like, and even with he's lost his aunt, a real close great aunt to him or whatever, and I was there with him with that, but just because he's with my family a lot more, and that's one thing I can say about my husband, who I love, he loves, no questions asked, like, if I don't like you, y'all better watch out,
Right.
Because he ain't the quiet one.
Yeah.
We know that. That's not his story. But like even as far as the grief that I never really even considered, like you just said, you grieved the miscarriage you had. Shannon and Shelby, we went to Jamaica on a couples group, and we all planned to get pregnant.
Wow.
We did. The three of us.
Wow.
Shannon and Shelby, this was in April. We went for our anniversary, his birthday. Went at the beginning of April. We got back like a week later, was pregnant, went to the doctor because I was bleeding. And so they said I had a miscarriage, right? So it was just like, you know, it was just like, it wasn't, I don't even think we ever even had the conversation to this day. I'm gonna be so honest with you. And then 2 weeks later, if you ever had a miscarriage, you go back for your follow-up appointment. And when I went for my follow-up appointment, Shannon and Shelby was in my stomach.
Wow.
There was no, how am I can't have sex. I just had a miscarriage. I'm bleeding. Like, so I'm just like, okay, God.
Yeah.
What was that?
Uh-huh.
So, and I said, oh, I get it. I was pregnant with triplets, but you know I only do 2 at a time.
Right.
I don't do that 3 things. I can't.
I
So
get it.
like, cause there was like, how am I at my follow up and he doing the ultrasound to make sure everything passed, and it's 2 babies in me.
there. Wow.
And tell the audience too about how many sets you
Oh,
have.
3 sets of twins. Kevin and Keisha. Keisha will be 18 on Thursday. Eden and Eli is 12. They'll be 13 in July. And Shannon and Shelby just turned 7 in January.
3 sets, y'all.
No medicine, no nothing. My grandmother just told me, you gonna have them. And so here we are. And so after Eden and Eli, my grandmother passed away when they were young. They were like 2 or 3. And when I say I went through a depression, because ain't nothing like a grandma. Like,
Right.
grandmas nowadays different from the kind of grandma I had.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I had a grandma. And
Yeah.
the moo with the
Yeah.
coffee, Young and the Restless.
Absolutely.
I had a grandma.
Absolutely.
And
Okay. Okay.
I went through complete depression. And then finding out I was pregnant, I was like, I can't have no kids because my grandma can't watch them. When I say I went there,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, no. Like, this ain't supposed to. So when that blood bleeding and all that happened, it was just like, okay. I was okay with it
Wow.
because my grandma wasn't here. But then when I go for my 2-week appointment and his baby's inside of me, and I'm like, okay, grandma.
All right.
I was literally
going.
going to get my tubes tied, and I called my mother at work, and I was crying. I was like, I can't do it. I can't go. And she said, don't go then. And it was just, I just couldn't do it. And then Shannon and Shelby, and I named them after her. Her name was Rose Lee. So it's Shelby Rose and Shannon Lee. And it's just like, and I pray, God, I buried one. Don't ever. Don't do that again. He picked me for a reason. Because obviously, he felt like I could handle it. But I don't want to know if I could do that. My baby was a baby. He never even came home from the hospital. So in a way, and some people may say it sounds crazy, it was easy.
Right.
He never came home with me.
Yeah,
I went to him every day, you know, stuff like that. But he was never at home.
Right.
It was easier to do that. When he passed, I did not go to the they called me, us, the family, our bishop went to the hospital, my grandma's, you know.
Yeah.
We were there. He took his last breath in my arms. And I don't remember anything after that. I bought his white. I got the casket. We had a full-blown funeral.
Yeah.
But I didn't go to that funeral home. I sent my mother and I sent Charlene. I had a dream a few days before they called me and of his full funeral. Full-blown funeral. When I say the songs, Pass Me Not, O Gentle Savior. My little sisters, Erica and Kyla, danced to Marvin Sapp, Never Would Have Made It. They young. They like 11, 12 years old, crying because the baby, it was a lot. Like, and I'm like, that could have really been traumatic for them.
Right.
But they did it, and they know I love them forever, ever for that. But it was just like, I don't want to do it again. I don't want to do it again.
I pray for anybody who has to do that, who has to bury a child. It's just unimaginable to me. I mean, going through burying my mom is like, that was like, you know what I'm saying? Just blew my mind, so I couldn't imagine it. I pray Psalms 91 over over them all of the time, the protection of God. And your strength and resilience, like Michelet say, is to be honored, because like you said, God selected you to go through it, because everybody can't do it.
Yeah.
I think of, what's the show? I'm always referencing a movie or something, but His and Hers on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch that? They had a scenario. They lost one of their children. And so many marriages don't survive grief. That's why I'm talking about grief right now, because so many marriages don't survive it. And for you to receive recompense, for God to send you a husband who was able to go through those times with you afterwards. He might not have been there at the time that you went through that, but as you honor your child every year, to have somebody who can support you and love you through it is definitely a blessing. I know for us, it took us to a place of almost You know, the thoughts, you really got to be strong.
You do.
Really have
You
to
do. Yeah.
stick to your vows and believe them and know that if he brought me through it, he can bring me through it. Because, like I said, when my husband lost his mom, it was like I lost my husband. You know, in so many different ways, and we're still recovering.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
this is 5 years, 2021, 22, 23, 24, it's almost 6 years now. We haven't even been able to go back to South Carolina. We've literally not been to South Carolina since my mother-in-law passed. Have not been back to see any of my husband's family. Have not been, my daughter, my children are like Yari just said something the other day. She's like, Mom, we just never went back. Because they spent every summer with her, you know. And so we haven't even been back to South Carolina. We used to go to Myrtle Beach for everything. Ain't been to Myrtle Beach in 6 years.
Wow.
And it's a big, you know, it's a major thing when you go through those things. So I don't want to talk. I've talked about my scenario before. Any Kia, Michelle, you want to share anything about grief and how? And it don't have to be specific. It could just be how your spouse helps you to manage.
So
Or whatever you want to share.
I am a very emotional person all the time, every time,
Yeah.
all the time. And my husband is not. And that's a challenge for me.
Oh yeah.
So he handles his emotions very, very different. I may have, out of the almost 20 years we've been together, I think I may have seen him cry like 2 times.
Wow.
And it's like a big drastic meltdown.
Mm-hmm.
And he lost his he lost his dad at a young age. And I was really close to my aunt, and I lost her in 2019. It was my mom's sister. So, and me and her was like that. And my mom died in 2021. Yeah, she died in 2021. And so that's one of the challenges that we have, because I'm very super emotional and he's not. He's present, but he doesn't know how to respond.
Right.
And that's because of whatever he
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
had growing up, you know. So grief is hard for us too. So it just like he lost some very, very important people in his life. He lost his nephew from gun violence a couple years ago, and they have things, and the family always call me to see if he wants to come. You know, he likes to just cut things off. You know,
that's
kind of like how, you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's the way he processes things. He can't be around a lot of crying,
Right.
and he just wants to remove himself, and that's how he deals with things. And I noticed that at the funeral, at his nephew's funeral, his sister, his dad's side, they kind of deal with
They
things
were
like
the
that.
same way.
She didn't even want to really go into her son's funeral, you know, because it was just so heavy.
Yeah,
so heavy.
absolutely.
And again, I've been seeing caskets since I was a little girl, just in church, you know, just going to funerals. So, you know, not to say that, you know, I knew how to handle it, but just, you know. So that is something that we struggle with in our marriage.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with saying that because of, again, he's not
Right.
in tune as much with, you know, and that's fine because that's just who he is, and I've learned how to accept it and know how to maneuver around it and just leave him be. You know, if he needs me, I'm married, you know, opposed to me, I feel like I was crying all night. Where was you? Didn't say nothing. Not hear me. Who y'all?
Making the bed shake.
Like this nigga wake up.
Foolish. I mean, let me say, I can understand 100% because something you said triggered a thought that I had where I was almost ready to not be with him or anything, but I was so hurt. So he has his grandmother they were very close. Him, his grandmother, his mom, and she had a medical episode. They took her on the ambulance to the hospital, and she did not make it back home. So he doesn't do hospitals, right? So when my mom went into the hospital, my mom is in the ICU. Okay, we got to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And he like, okay, you got it.
Yep, you mad.
You got it.
Right.
And he ain't say, okay, you got it.
But
In his most humble voice, he like, babe, you know.
Right.
He don't even got to say the word.
Yeah.
Babe, you know. So he drove me to the hospital, and he just rode around the city while I went upstairs. Thankfully, my sisters and my brothers were there. My sisters and my brother-in-laws were there, and everything. But I, like, planned his mom's funeral. Because he was out of it. Like, alongside him, him and his brothers gave me that honor of doing, a lot of those things. And so then to turn around and me go through my mom being in the hospital and you not being able to muster up the strength to walk me into the ICU, nigga, we ain't go. Well,
Just keep talking.
we not going to the maternity ward to see my homegirl's new baby.
Right.
My mom is in the ICU,
Yeah.
And so because you said that, I had to go through that process, learning how to love him through who he is.
Yeah.
Kind of hard when you feel like who you are should be supporting
Right.
him. But I had to understand,
That's
Rachel,
just-
it's going to be worse on you when you get home if you let this man come in this hospital because he's going to be triggered. So then when you go home, he's now triggered, and you're not going to be able to lean on him for support. Let him stay strong in what he can do, baby. I can drive you there, baby. I'm going to go up around the corner and get us something to eat. So when you come out the hospital, I got your food because he know how to shut me up. All I need is a flat chicken wing. And so that was a struggle for me. And when I'm emotional, when he's emotional, I'm like, oh baby. But when I'm emotional, he kind of sitting there like,
Right. Try him too, girl.
What's wrong now?
You want that Bobby?
Right. What's wrong now? And it's like, what you mean? What's wrong now? Like, I just told you what was wrong. But I have to accept him for who he is and allow him. He may not sit there and rub my back and all this, but my baby gonna go get me a Pepsi. And bring me. He just loves me. He loves me. He gonna make my plate. He gonna cook me some good food and feed me because he knows it comforts me. So I had to learn how to receive love and support the way he gives it, and it is important, those love languages. Let's talk about those. But it's important to receive love. Like it's like, no, you need to love me the way I want to be loved.
Me, or how I want you.
How I want you to love me. I like words of affirmation. Talk to me. Talk to me. But if he loves me better by acts of service, why can't I learn to receive it? I'm talking to myself right now.
No, but it's real. No, it's
Help
real.
me, Mish.
So my situation is different. I came into the relationship with grief. Losing my mother at 14, grief was all I knew. So when he met me, he met the shell of me. He didn't know that was so much unhealed grief. And I mean, he met me, and I was a church girl at the time, but it was still so much work that God needed to do in my heart that I wasn't allowing God to do at the time. So, we go through our stages where we're just rebellious, and I was just in one of those stages, and you put on that shell and I'm good. So because I was in that, and like I said in the beginning, you meet that mirror, and when that mirror starts to say, hey, why are you like this in this area, and and the grief starts to come out. And so he is always referred to as a gentle giant, and he's just that. So when I met Ty, I met my peace. And a lot of times you hear men say they're looking for that in women, and I pray that I am that for him.
But you know
but
he's that for
he
you.
is that for me. Like, you know how when someone hasn't really had rest and it was like I could get sound sleep with him. Sound like I could go to his house and I could chill and I just sleep for hours, and he probably like, what is up with this girl? She ain't that type. But it was the peace that he provided, and then just getting to know me and to learning that. But when that switch came on, when that shell was broken and the grief, you know how you have, like Shaw spoke on the episodes. So when that he didn't know, he felt helpless. What do I do to console her? But you know, and I don't make light of anyone losing anyone, but losing your mother, you losing the person that gave you life, like your maternal being, is, I mean, the worst thing I feel like anyone can ever go through. Like, I don't ever, and like I said, like I don't have any children to relate to that. I know what it feels like now to lose a sibling, with Ty losing them, but with me being the only child, I don't know what that loss feels like. I only know mine. But just hearing it spoke on so much about people losing their mind, like it's tough. And so it's been a transition with me still to this day, getting through that. Like God has done a lot of work on me in the last 4 or 5 years, and that was because of, I mean, that's a whole nother topic of being sober, like not self-medicating anymore, or not feeling like I have to go fill the void with other stuff just because when that grief, not knowing what to do, like, and people say, well, that's what God is for. When the grief comes, go pray, go da-da-da. But what happens when it doesn't work?
It's easier said than
I was
done.
because I never thought to go pray.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
like when you
knew this was going. Sometimes
You
you
the
get attitude.
They say accept what God allows.
Right,
So who am I to talk to him? You know? Yeah.
So yeah, that's just my take on it. And just, I remember nights of him just holding me like I was a baby, because I'm having those, like, I miss my mom. And a lot of it hadn't came out until we got in a relationship. And I'm not even talking about, this is like, we didn't get married until 5 years, so this is post-marriage. Our 5th year became the hardest year when we found out that we were dealing with infertility. So that's, you know, my transparency, since we're speaking on kids and the grief. So the grief that came along with that, you know how they say, you hear the myths of your first year is your hardest year, your second year. I mean, people say that, and we were chill, like we were good. But when that infertility diagnosis hit, it flipped our world upside down. So then you got the grief returns. I mean, am I gonna leave a legacy? Like, what's going on, God? Like, you know, so all of that started to transparent, and that like flipped our marriage upside down. So the grief kind of returns, and I went down into a depression, and I didn't know I was depressed. So I turned into this monster of a person that, I mean, he was coming home, I'm shutting the door. I don't even want to look at you. And it wasn't even geared towards him, but that's how the enemy he saw a door, and he was like, I'm about to jump in. I don't like marriage, no way. They about to be separated. So God has really, really restored us since then. So yeah.
That literally, I'm looking at this question, and it's what helped restore things. And it's so good when you, thank you for leading. That's how you know the Holy Spirit has his way in conversation. Because we've all been through things in our marriage, I'm sure, that broke us as women, that broke our husbands as men, and tried to break our marriage. Infertility. Infertility diagnosis that we pray. I need everybody. You know, we support you, right? Yes, we support our sister. But this is why I wanted to have these ladies at this table. You just don't know what other women are dealing with, or why people are the way they are. And Michelet is one of the sweetest people I've ever met. Like, to me, she's never been rude to me. She met me as Ty's sister, so it was an automatic, you know, because my sister has children by Tyrone's brother, right? I was raised with them. I met them, like Shelly said today. She met Ty when he was 6. I met them when I was 10. When I moved to North Carolina, 8. In the 2nd grade is when I met them. You know what I'm saying? So that's my brother. And it's always been a beautiful relationship. Even when you were struggling, you don't know what another sister, another wife, another woman is going through when they go home at night. And, you know, she may have been sweet to me. So this is something me and my husband also talk about, or something that is talked about a lot with we monsters in our house,
Yeah.
but you the sweetest person
Yup.
in the world out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like me and my husband, I get so mad because we could be in the middle of we won't argue a whole lot,
Right.
but you know,
Yeah.
a little tiff, and he on the game, he cracking up laughing. Boy, you a fool, boy. Boy, you a fool, boy. And then I get up to go to the bathroom, and I feel him looking at me like, and I'm like, I want to be your whole boy, you know, type thing. But I'm skipping around. But
Crack it up.
how do you? I know for me, if it had not been for the Lord who was on my side,
Clap it.
and I'm keeping it a band with y'all
what it is,
when
bro.
I say, and I have this. My husband don't know the Lord. He know the Lord through me. He knows God. He was raised, you know, they went to the Kingdom Hall and everything. So he has his own relationship with God. You know, I won't say he don't know the Lord. That's not right to say because everybody has their own relationship. But the way I serve God, my husband don't have that same type of relationship with him, right? And so when we go through a really hard time, and something I feel like we don't pray together. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're going on a road trip or something, we get in the car, I say, all right, I'm about to pray. He'll turn the radio down, let me pray. But like how these people, you see people on movies and your pastor preaching and they talking about, y'all got to hold hands and pray together. Like that's not a reality in my marriage, right? Yeah. But so when something comes that breaks us, there's an intercession that I have to go into for myself. And I feel like if I did not do that, then there are many times that I would have let myself give up on marriage or walk away. Yeah. But my obligation and my accountability to the kingdom of God to show that godly marriages can still exist, to show that can be longevity in marriage, even when things are not perfect, it makes a difference to me. How do you restore your marriage when you reach a point of, could I walk out? I mean, you may have never been to a point of walking out of your marriage. But how do you come back to love?
I don't know if mine could be considered coming back to. We keeping it above.
Yeah.
Couple weeks before me and Eric walked down the aisle, his father came and told him he wasn't his father. The identity is gone.
Absolutely.
This man has no idea who he is. And I'm about to marry him. And immediately he changed. Like, he called me, and when I said I couldn't even understand what he was saying, because I was at choir rehearsal. I'm doing like $120 down the highway, because what are you saying? I don't know, something wrong with the kids. I'm just flying. I get home and my husband is balled up crying and told me what just happened. What? Right. You're named after this guy. So I'm about to marry him in like 2 weeks. And he just said, he was like, before he went into this next phase of life, he needed to know. Okay. He vanished. He disappeared. He didn't even know who he was anymore. Yeah. I married him, but I don't know who I married. He don't know himself, so how I'm supposed to know who he is?
Right.
And shouts out to Ray for putting my real last name on the flyer. But that's why I didn't drop my father name. That's why it was Frank-Scott, because that ain't his name. I'm not dropping my daddy name, and we don't even know his name. Right. So the whole search for years and years and years, they do 23andMe, do this, and it was just like, I still had to stay on my face, angry. Yeah. I didn't go. He made me. He know me. It wasn't just, oh God, could you? Yo, right? What we doing? Right. Straight up. Like, what's happening?
Straight up.
I didn't care to be married anyway. Then I gotta go
Now I
through
gotta
this.
deal with this.
Like, for real?
Yeah.
So just all of that, and when I can say, for me, that's why I said I don't know if it could say get back to love, but it was since we moved down here. We've been down here for 5 years. I want to say at like year 7, on our anniversary was the first time I felt like it was really happy anniversary. He ended up finding his father, and it was just like he began to
You
just
see him.
oh my God, and it was just like, okay, I got married April that just passed. That's when I got
That
married
was your
to
marriage.
my husband. And that's just how it is. And when I say that's like I keep wanting to say the N word.
Yeah.
That's my boy for real. Like for real. Like, and that's why I said like, and because I had to watch over him because that happened to him right before we walked down. I had to protect him.
Yeah.
I went against his mother. I didn't care because we, as a woman, we know. Stop playing.
Right.
Yeah.
We know
We know. Stop playing with
Come
my
on,
man.
like we not that holy.
Right.
Let's get this done.
Absolutely.
Right.
But it
Absolutely.
years later, and it was just like I had to protect him. I had to pray for his mind. I had to pray for my mind.
Yeah.
For my attitude, for my deliverance,
Yes.
and anything I said to him, like
Absolutely.
he could put the dishes in the thing the wrong way, and I'm just like.
Right.
Like anything
Yeah.
would just aggravate me because for me too, I'm like, that shouldn't affect you that bad.
Right,
Like you
right.
still thought you had a father,
Yeah.
but it wasn't his. Like I'm
You
telling
don't
you,
know,
identity
right.
just
You don't know how
erased,
he
just
feels.
gone.
Absolutely.
So like, for the past 3 years, like has been the best.
Has been
the absolute best. for us.
Crazy, right? I think the same
It's just
thing.
like
That's 4 years.
it's
I can only
absolute,
stop.
like
That's
that's my Negro.
Crazy.
And I feel like that. That's why I think in the beginning, like how that's your friend. My man is my friend.
Yeah,
Like,
your friend.
he's like literally my best friend.
Right.
And one of my homegirls, my baby mama had, she said your wife, because she's a lesbian. She said your wife isn't your girlfriend, not the same as before, because I tell him everything. My
Absolutely.
husband is my girlfriend.
Absolutely.
He knows everything about everything. And another one, Latanya, she said sacred is the pillow talk. And it should be a regular practice.
Absolutely.
A lot of people say you should not go home and tell your spouse everything or whatever, but I feel like he's the only, outside of my sister, he's really like the only person who knows everything about me. And so when you say he's your best friend and you go against anybody for him, I feel that and I understand that because I had to see our situation was a little different because my husband's the reason we haven't been able to go back to South Carolina is because my mother-in-law had COVID.
Okay.
And she had ended up being on a ventilator. And she was on the ventilator for a long time. And eventually she could not continue to stay on the ventilator. And so we believing for a miracle, trusting God for a miracle. But she was remarried. And her husband was not the best in my husband's eyes. Because nobody is ever going to be good enough for his mother. And he probably had to make a decision.
Gotcha.
And so my husband holds that decision as a, nah, bro.
Yeah.
So we can't go nowhere near this man.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
And so with me wanting to be, my husband is like, all right, we ride at dawn.
Right.
Right. And I want to ride at dawn with him, but at the same time, if I let you ride, what's going to happen to these kids?
Absolutely.
What's going to happen? So I struggled really,
Absolutely.
really bad with supporting him in that season because I was so mad that he had to be going through this, and I wanna ride with you, baby, but I gotta be the sound wife.
Right.
Somebody has to be in
Right.
sound mind.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's what that kind of reminded me of having to be that protector
Yeah.
of your husband, but it's like you feel he's like, you ain't with me, you ain't with me, you should, she loved you, you know, and it's like, I know, but what do you want, you know, it's such a struggle, you know, to make that decision of supporting him, but baby, I'm supporting you. What I'm doing is right, but it doesn't feel right to your spouse. You know, have you ever been in a situation like that where you just, how do I help you?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I you know, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. How do you restore things, Misha? You and Ty got to, well, you kind of led into it and told us it's God. I think I know that, right?
Yeah. And I think we had to not necessarily separate. When I say separate, not separate in marriage, but we had to work on selves first. Like I had to get, first of all, when you take God out of the equation, like we did, you know, he's that third cord in the marriage, and we removed him slowly. We didn't realize. So, you know, it's the myths in the church, it's the, you know, all of that. So when the division, like I said, came in and the enemy had his way, returning back to God, returning to Christ was the only thing that mended us. And when I started doing the work, and he could see that, because he wasn't doing the work, he was like, you know,
It is what it is.
You know, she gonna, you know.
Absolutely.
But when I started to do the work, I mean, like Scripture said, he became sanctified, and I'm happy with where we are now.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, Kia, you got a similar situation to
I
me.
do.
You know, if you say, you know, where our husbands is they
Yeah.
ain't deacons.
Yeah.
Now listen, let me tell y'all, okay? Even though I gotta, you know,
I started to put in the group chat this morning because I asked Trev, I said, because we do the prayer every morning, like when we take King to school, or, you know.
Yeah.
And either I do it or my son do it. Hey, girl.
hey.
And I asked Trev to do the prayer this morning, and he did it. And I was like, I started to group chat, he prayed.
This morning.
Like, oh no! Like I always say to him, I started to.
You know he's
but
ready for a preach. Stop playing.
yeah, he's a jokester. But yeah, in my, like you said, my situation is like yours. Like I've always, you know, grew up in the church, been to church all my life, and my husband, you know, wasn't like he didn't go to church. Or I mean, he had family members that went to church, but wasn't active in church, and he you know always says, you know, me and God got our own little
Yeah, we got our own relationship. I want to hear.
But yeah, so like they both said, like the last few years has been the best.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but when God is in the midst of everything,
Yeah.
and you let Him lead, and we still got some struggles, some things we working on, but God is still reminding me, let me get you together.
Yeah, let me get you together
Let
first.
Him see what I do with you.
Absolutely.
You know, so I'm leaning into that.
Yeah.
You know, and forever praying for him. Not saying he's not opposed to not coming to church,
Right,
or
right.
he says he has his own relationship, and I believe he does. But again, I've handled the situation a little different. I used to be feeling some type of way, you know. Seeing women with their husbands in church, you know, praising the Lord together, just going to church as a family.
Yeah.
Now, I want that for us, and, you know, but again, I want him to be able to have a relationship.
Right, real relationship.
A real relationship. Because,
Absolutely.
you know, you may see people in church and they not, you know, just doing the church thing, but then, you know, he could be sleeping with you know, and I don't want that. I want him to have his own personal relationship, and, you know, so... Yeah, we do. We said you and I talk about it all the time, absolutely. But it's literally like she said. The last few years, we have had some, you know, separation time. In our marriage, and I actually when my mom died.
Oh God. Your bishop and teacher is here, girl. Go ahead, say what you want to say. I gotta, what exactly? To the point of what you said, I have to say what teacher did. But go ahead, because what you said was going to lead into this.
Oh, okay. So when my mom passed, so it was like everything was happening. Remember I told you my aunt passed in 2019.
Yeah.
Then I had an uncle pass. Then I had, my daughter was graduating from high school. And I was just like, you know what? I can't take it no more. I'm gonna dip. I'm gonna leave.
Yes.
And COVID was going on. We wasn't even talking.
Right.
Just everything was very strenuous, and
Yes.
I felt like I was alone.
Yeah.
I felt like other things going into
Absolutely.
and I got up and I left. I left.
Yeah.
And but my husband, he said, you know what? I want my family.
I know that's right.
I
Where you
want my
think you
family. Where you going? Where you going?
Yeah.
And he had to get on board.
Right,
and I had to get on board too. But I will say, it strengthened my relationship with Christ. I was going to therapy. I didn't know my identity. I just didn't know, I was fighting a lot of things, a little bit of substance abuse was with the coping mechanism,
Absolutely.
just not wanting to be around, still showing face, still outer appearance looking good, but just with some inner struggles. And my therapist was like, you need to go ahead and go.
Yeah. And they will tell you. But hey, they tell
For
you
your
the
mental.
best.
Like,
for your mental.
for your mental.
Absolutely.
Like, she
Absolutely.
really was helping me, though.
Yeah.
Like, she was like,
Our therapist ain't tell us that.
Right.
she was helping me. But she was helping me because how she said everything and how it made sense. Because what we don't understand is a lot of trauma that we go through is childhood trauma. We still trying to heal from. I was still trying to heal a 13-year-old girl that was molested from 7 to 13. So hypersexual. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So just trying to heal different areas.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I know that I was always able to get a job. I was working since 14. Like, I always was able to get a job, stay at a job long, make money. I always was able to do that. So, I set it up where I had a friend that lives here in Raleigh. And she said, you know what? Come and stay with me for a little while. I got a job, got hired on the spot. They said, you know what? You hired.
You got it.
Got the job.
You will.
2 weeks later, signed off and got an apartment. I said, wait a minute. Why did I get this apartment? This apartment too much.
Where my man at?
Hold on, where my man at?
I wasn't thinking.
Call him up. Where you at? Like, trying to be all hard. Like, I got my own place outside, But yeah, I continue to do the work with therapy.
Yes.
I continue to lean in to God and my walk with Him, and it strengthened my relationship. I found a good church, Faith Assembly Christian. I visit a lot of churches. The new church. Visit a lot of churches in Durham. And to make a long story short, I was on a cruise, and I had visited the church before I got ready to go to the cruise, right? And I was on the boat, and I said, yo, I love my church. I ain't joined the church yet. I kept telling my kids, they was like, well, hold on, did you join it? I was like, no, I ain't joined yet, but when I get back, I'm going to join. I was telling them I was so excited. I was so excited because I found the family. The first person I met when I came through the door was Shelly. I tell Shelly this all the time. Miss Sheila had a testimony, that's Shari's mom. And what she was saying in her testimony, it was just connecting with me. Yeah. It felt very family oriented. I just loved the presence. I loved, everything about it. So I was excited about it. Yeah. On the cruise, having a good time with my cousins, my family. Tragedy straight. I am a grandmother of 2. And my daughter, fiance got killed while I was on the cruise. And she had, he had her phone. They were like in each other's skin. That young love,
Yes, I remember the days.
It takes me back to me and how me and her dad was. Just so that was something that kind of and I was dealing with that. Couldn't really have a good time,
Right.
And then because I was just trying to, So with that being said, just locking in my relationship with Christ and praying more and reading my word and really applying it and just letting God lead and saying, "Kid, you're not doing all this yourself. You know,
Right.
He's
right.
behind all this."
I got you.
And you got to acknowledge the fact that He's
Absolutely.
making things happen. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And just learning more, because again, I've been going to church. Oh my! Now I wasn't quite a hellraiser, but I was outside.
outside.
Okay.
Okay.
I told my husband, like, I was outside, but you know, you locked me down.
You locked me
You didn't
down.
lock me down. But yeah, no. But that's just, you know, just I know I jumped around a couple
No, that
things,
was
but
good. Thank you.
yeah, but
Thank
we
you.
could relate on a lot of things, and we
Yes.
talked about that too.
Yeah, y'all are being very transparent. That's what this is about. You know, like I said, you never know what somebody. Oh,
Right.
your baby girl said you about to make me cry.
Oh,
Mama.
Bree, I love you.
But what I was going to say is, you know, I've been in church. I've been in church. I've grown up in church as well, and I've been at our church, the church that we attend, since I was 16. I've been there 27 years, right? So the transition from being a teenager to being a college student to being a 20-year-old to being a 30-year-old to now being a 40-year-old woman, I really came into even though I always came to church, I really came into salvation in the last few years, right?
That's it.
And you know, me and my husband, when y'all talk about these past couple years being the best years, in this last year, I have cried out and thanked God so much because through our 20s, we had, it was amazing. Like, our 20s was like fun. We was out every night. We was in the club Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. We was buying booze and I mean, we was doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? And we always had the house that I was always a waitress. So everybody, the bartenders, all my waitress friends used to come to our house and we always had the spot, you know, and had fun. And then then came King. And kind of started slowing down a little bit more with King, and that's when I kind of started coming back to church a little bit more consistently. I mean, I was always there, but more consistently with when I had King, and in the last kind of once in 2021, once he lost his mom, that's when things kind of went left, and it wasn't like it used to be. He didn't leave the house, you know, and I still had to keep going on to make sure that things kind of got taken care of, but it was hard for him to leave the house. It was hard, you know, for a lot, and I kind of, in certain ways, not really took it out on him, but it was hard for me to manage my husband changing so drastically from being the life of the party to him not even wanting anybody to come to the house. Y'all being here at my house is amazing. Like the only
he definitely traveled.
the only friends that have been to my house, I'm telling you, in the last 3 to 4 years is Reese and Samantha. They're the only friend.
Thanks, Sherry.
You know, I mean, like literally, it changed. Our life changed, and it was a major change for me. But it's what allowed me to grow closer to God.
Yeah.
Because he the one who really wanted to stop going to the bar. He the one who really wanted to stop. I was going to church on Sunday. I was drunk Saturday night, and in praise and worship Sunday morning. Oh, my man sent me some stars. Thank you, baby. Thank you for sending me stars. Send me some stars. But he was the one who, even though he wasn't not wanting to go because of a commitment that he made to God, that's what helped me to stop going and stop doing all, you know, so many of the things that I was doing or whatever. But it helped me to be closer to God, but it kind of, you know, it hurt at the same time. And so I kind of withdrew a little bit. I withdrew, I'm going to say after like 2 years. It was like, all right, it's been 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I need you to snap out of it. How do you tell somebody to snap out of it? I had to repent. I literally had to repent because then God took my apostle and God took my mom. And I'm sitting here 2 years after his mom dies. I'm like, all right, snap out of it. And then I lose 2 people. And I'm still trying to snap out of it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what, and we went through a situation where, you know, a financial situation where I did something that he did not think, that he didn't agree with financially. I didn't consult him. I just made a major decision and did not consult him. And it broke his heart. I mean, literally broke his heart. He had never told me. He said, you broke my heart. And this was in 2024. And just in the last year do I feel like he's forgiven me. And we've started, I'm like in church crying and praising God. Thank you. Like this past Valentine's Day, we had just like this beautiful Valentine's Day. I did something special for him. Yes. Because I feel like, you know, even though this decision I made, I thought it was the best decision for us at that time, we partnered.
That's it right there.
And I made a commitment to him, and then I did the exact opposite, and I just felt like crap. Like I felt like terrible.
Yeah.
And then one other thing I was gonna say, and I feel like I'm talking too much, right? But this is in regards to not having a husband that's in church. I was saying I've been at Faith Assembly for a long time, and I used to literally envy people who were at church. Not envy in a you know, a negative way, but I would just sit in church and cry watching couples in church. I would literally cry. And I can probably tell you that none of those couples that I used to sit and envy and cry watching are together.
Yep.
And this is not a negative thing about them, but it's about the fact that I used to get rejected from friendships with people at church. And I'm not talking about anybody specific, but because I was more committed to my marriage than the ministry. I'm not saying more committed to God, because I was committed to God, but I was more committed to my marriage than I was to the ministry. And people had an issue with that because they were committed to the ministry together. You are here with your husband every day. It's a mosquito, sorry. Jesus, it's mosquito season. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, me.
No,
What movie was that? What movie was that where you was like,
Oh, we're just killing stuff. I need hand sanitizer. Jesus. But thank you. Like legit, it used to break my heart, and I would go home from church crying on the altar, praising God, but come home and not want to talk to my husband. Come in and walk in the door with an attitude because he didn't come to church with me that night and things like that. So I'm being transparent about the mess in me.
Yeah.
I did the same thing.
He
though,
called
right?
me. Yeah.
Not coming home like that, but I used to cut up, like leaving to go to church. You not coming this Sunday? Like, I mean, cut up. And this was prior to marriage, and you know, we got into marriage counseling and all that stuff. And what the pivotal point for us was when he lost his brother. When he lost his brother, that really took him down, and I think he started to learn God for himself. And I mean, I just looked around one day, I'm like talking to Shay, and I'm like, what? Tago. And I look, he at the altar getting saved. And we got baptized after that, and then we got married. And I mean, you know, it was still, we still had kind of that one foot in, 1 foot out. But that was the pivotal point for us. But before then, I mean, I remember I had a friend coming to church, And I was like, "You not coming?" I was like, "Well, don't worry about it. My friend gonna be at church."
Girl.
You know, like I was just shooting off at the mouth,
What?
and like that's not how you get them there. Like,
Right,
that
not at
is-
all. Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
I had to really learn.
Yeah,
from that.
yeah. Girl, I use a deacon real quick. I'll be like, oh, I needed help with the table.
But such
It's
a
all right,
thing.
Mario gonna help me. Mario gonna carry the table. You know what I'm saying? God had to help me.
Yes.
Pull this
Yes.
together.
Yes. Your foolishness.
Yes.
We all been there. I've been there too. I know.
Well, see, my husband was Pentecostal.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, I ain't doing all that.
Right.
No, not doing all that. Not wearing no skirt every day.
Yeah.
You come on this side.
Right.
Come with me.
Come on over, brother. Come on with me.
Cracking up.
Like,
Okay.
I'm going to church six services on the Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
doing that. No.
I mean, and that, listen, I always wondered, am I missing out on something? Because, you know, what if I had have said, okay, there was a point in my mind in my marriage where I was like, maybe I should just be Jehovah's Witness. And then, you know, it'll get him in, and then once he get in, then I can ease. No, come on, that's compromising.
Yeah, you are.
The compromising, the compromises and the sacrifices that you make for your marriage, you know, and just going through all the thoughts of what you think can make it better. And I considered everything, but I'm so grateful that I stood strong in my marriage, and I did not let the advice. So many people told me to leave my husband.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like many people, you know, if he ain't, you know, if he ain't doing this and he ain't doing that, you need to leave. What works for your house, what works for your marriage, works for your marriage, you know, and you can't look at anybody else's dynamics or what. You take the meat and you leave the bones. You take what works for you and you know, you use it. I'm gonna go back to what Bishop and Teacher said, because I just wanna. Bishop Kia said we waiting on Kia's husband now. Come on in the room. And Teacher said she got a shoe for him too. So let me tell y'all about this shoe situation, because you do have to have a support system. Teacher said she just threw some oil. You have to have a support system, and we had Apostle. I know Kia, you know, may not have had that with her, but you know, I had that spiritual mother and that guide to help me with navigating, going from a teenager to she watched me change, you know, type of thing. But dang, I lost my train of thought. The shoe, okay. Jerry talking about, oh Lord, the shoe. Apostle had this way of, like I said, when I was in my 20s, my kids went to the academy and the daycare. So, you know, I already had Christian or whatever. My kids went to the academy and the daycare, so I had to come pick my kids up on, you know, throughout the days of the week. But I hadn't been to church in about 2 or 3 weeks. Right. And she would be standing in the hallway, and she look. Miss Rachel, can we talk? You know, I had an accountability person to pull me every time I went out far. I had somebody to pull me back in. You know, and when I lost her, I kind of lost obligation because I felt she did so much for me. She led me and guided me. She supported me, taught me so much that I lost the person, my accountability partner. You know what I'm saying? And I had to recognize that God is the head and not the person. But I still needed love from a leader. I still needed that accountability or whatever. And so we have Teacher Cassandra, right? And she's always, before she was teacher, she was always in the kitchen cooking, right? She used to cook all the time. And my husband loves her fried chicken, right? So that's how they built relationship. She knew he wanted a chicken breast. When I would, after church, I'd come in the kitchen. I got Jerry's chicken right here. I got his chicken right here. You know, it was just she had a relationship established already. And so Friday night at church, My husband was there because he was in the kitchen. He stayed in the kitchen. I didn't have an expectation. We know the rule. We cooking in the kitchen. Get your kitchen set up and get your tail in that sanctuary. Don't miss service. It used to be a TV in the kitchen, so we could watch the TV and hear the preaching during service. Dead there. Apostle said, nah, get your tail in that service. So the pastor who was preaching started praying for the men. It was a beautiful thing to witness because your men were on display to God. God had something special for them. And I'm like, you know what, Rachel? Your husband is in the building. He might not be right here, but he's here. Go get him. And I didn't have any expectation of him to go to the altar. I went to the kitchen and I got my husband, and all I wanted to do was just stand in the back and speak in my heavenly language over him while the man of God was speaking into your man. Man of God was speaking into your man. But what I was hearing, I said, oh God, I need to receive some of that for my man in Jesus' name. So I brought him in. But I know he ain't about to just run up to the altar. So we in the back. I'm just, rubbing his back, speaking in my heavenly language, and he's allowing it. And that's what's so beautiful to me, that even though this is not what he wants, he's allowing it. And the word of God, a word of knowledge came that night, I believe, when Apostle Sharon, this was the night before, she said, men are not as emotional as us. Yeah, she did, Just because he ain't rolling around on the floor, flipping and crying does not mean.
Let me tell you why she said that.
Yeah.
Because what she said to me in my ear, because she had prayed for him, then she said to me in my ear, God said to give him some time to catch up with you.
Woo! That's all we got to do.
And then she went to the men they don't do it how we do it.
Right.
Her
and I had to
blah,
receive
blah, and
it.
it was just like,
I had to receive that.
Completely.
Completely. I had to receive, like, it's not, just because he's not getting it the way you getting it, doesn't mean he's not getting it. Well, as I'm standing there praying, there was another man there from Bishop Hagee's church who was standing kind of in the back corner. And he walked up and he put his hand on Jerry's shoulder. And so I'm on one side holding him, praying. And this man of God is on the other side holding him, praying. I was fine with that. I was just like, you know what? Thank you, Lord. Well, Jerry started looking around like, who's she talking to? I'm like, who talking to?
Yeah.
Teacher, she calling somebody. I look, I said, nigga, she calling you. He said, what? I said, she's calling you. She's telling you, come here. She's calling you to the altar. Yeah. He ain't moving fast enough. She reached down and took off her heel. Oh, that's the shoe. That's the shoe.
Tisha!
She took off her heel, 6-inch pump, and held it up. And I seen Apostle Mary D. McKenzie.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
And she held that shoe up. He ain't moved. She started walking down the aisle towards him. And I said, baby, just go ahead. I'm telling you. Just go ahead. Just go ahead.
I'm telling you now.
And so he started walking. That is what they say. A seed is planted, a seed is watered, and then it blossoms. I don't have to water my seed alone. That is something that I am so grateful for. That I'm not watering my seed alone. And he went to the altar, and hands were laid on him. And when hands were laid on him, I was grateful. But then the man of God, he just said something, and he touched my husband's belly. And when he touched my husband's belly, I felt electricity in my body. I don't remember everything that happened.
Because you went full.
Because I went full. Pure food. But I literally, and I've never felt what I felt that night. And so I know that something good is about to happen. That sooner or later, it's turning in my favor. It's turning around now.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to mention that because that's just one of the things I wanted to talk about. And y'all, we almost at 2 hours, so okay, it's 8:15. But I want to say, in marriage, you can do it by yourself, you and your spouse.
Yeah.
But I think it makes a difference when you have someone to help you through marriage. It makes a difference, and for me, not just therapy, because I do therapy. I do therapy, but also having people to pray with you, pray over you, and people that your spouse also has respect for.
Right.
Because anybody could say anything to him, and that don't mean he's going to receive it.
Absolutely.
But when he has respect for a person, and a person carries themselves in a way that they can receive from, I just think that's a beautiful thing, and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
And I know we reference Apostle a lot, but just how I mentioned before about our marriage counseling transition to Bishop and us not knowing, and I'm speaking on like time, us not knowing that, you know, eventually Bishop will transition to be our leader, and he was the one who actually who did it. And I had a friend who came to the church, and she said, she was looking at Bishop and teacher. She was like, I just love how he loves on his wife, and you know we see it so much.
Yeah,
I'm not saying we
right.
no, that TJ is a back in that day.
Yeah, a little back in that cheese. His darling baby.
But you know, just being, and I'm like, thank God. You know, I look at it, and you know, not to like over spiritualize it, but I look at how she transitioned to us, and that's how I apply it to my life. And I'm like, wow, God, like you knew exactly, not knowing, you know, we were not like we had our time outside, like coming back, you know, in and out. But just in this particular transition, I'm like, wow. And to just be under that, and how he actually loves, like, and sets the bar, like, sets the example. Like, sometimes he'll come home and be like, all right, Bishop, like, messing me up, like, right, you know. So just, you know, being under that, I think that's great.
I love it. I love it. Leading by example. You know what I'm saying? Everything isn't perfect in every church that you go to.
Right.
But a godly marriage is something that I aspire to have, and a loving marriage.
Yeah.
And I know that God is in my marriage. Just because my husband may not be saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized, God is within our marriage. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that. I seen a picture. Was looking through the church's pictures, and it was a picture of while Bishop Hagee was laying hands on my husband. Whoever was taking pictures Friday took a picture of Yari and King in the back of the church. And they're standing with their hands up, praying. And so I know I'm not alone.
No.
I'm not alone. And I just thank God for y'all being willing to come tonight and talk about your marriage and yourself as a wife and a woman and as a mother and as a building a wifely legacy. That is important. What do you want your wifely legacy to be? Nisha, if we know God is going to do it, He's going to give you the desire of your heart. We trust and believe Him.
Amen.
But outside of that, this is about you as a woman and as a wife, not about you as anything else. What do you want your wifely legacy to be?
That's heavy. Come back.
That's heavy. Okay, I'll come back. Y'all start thinking about it. Right.
Hold up, what is it again?
Oh, Lord, y'all, Bishop, ain't no woman like the one I got.
There you go.
Love y'all so much. We love you too, Bishop. And we thank you for showing our husbands, showing our sons. You know what I'm saying? Because our sons, King, Eli, King, you know what I'm saying? They're listening, hearing you talk to your wife that way. And so because you are leading by example, I ain't calling you. You know, you're leading by example and showing them how to love their wife. We appreciate that. We appreciate that for real, because you know, my husband come in and I'll come in the house from church and hey, honey bump. That's said in Levita from the Steve Harvey show. She used to call him that. And I think about it and I'm like, I love the things he says to me. Yeah. You know, I'm a words of affirmation girl, so I love that. But wifely legacy. I want my husband, everybody, so, you know, we talked about when we come in, y'all know I'm crazy. I'm Facebook crazy, right? I post a lot. I talk a lot. And one of the bigger arguments that me and my husband have had is about my social media activity. You know, he's over it most of the time. Like, you've been at work all day, you come home, now you on your phone all night, like whatever. I'm like, boy, I'm making money. I'm talking to clients. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, you know. But one thing I always used to post about him, post pictures of us and post these long rants about my husband. And he like, and we would get into it, and I'm asking him, what do you need from me? What do you want from me? I want to know you love me. I want you to tell me you love me. And I'm like, I tell you I love you all the time. You ain't see my post yesterday. You ain't see my post this, you know. And he said, you ain't tell me. You told them.
Yep.
I want to hear it. I'm like, this nigga want me to lay here. Oh, baby, you so sexy. You so you important. Like, go read the post. You know, and I had to realize, no.
Yeah.
Tell your man
Yeah.
how much you love him.
Yeah.
Tell your man how much I want him to go. I don't know. Tell him how much you love him. Tell him how much you appreciate him. Tell him and not the
Them.
world.
Yeah.
And it was so bad to the point that it bothered me that he wasn't doing the same thing in return.
Yeah.
But he was actually telling me.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was telling me to my face.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling some type of way because you ain't telling Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So my wifely legacy, I want to be that my husband knows that I love him endlessly. And I want to say unconditionally, but I got a couple conditions.
She is the
I love him endlessly. He knows my non-negotiables.
Right.
If you do A or B,
see ya.
see ya. But I would still love him, right? I would still love him. I would still love him. I might not deal with that. But I want my wifely legacy to truly be, my wife loved me and she showed me and she told me. I want him to know I love him by the way I love him. I want him to know I love him by the way I take care of and raise his children. I want him to know I love him by the way I take care of myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All these things. He'll tell, you know. So, okay, shut up, Rachel. Wifely legacy. I want my wifely legacy to be a legacy of love.
Yeah.
Because love is like, we could be broke. We have been broke.
Yeah.
I mean, literally had nothing, eating ham and cheese sandwiches, and that ain't even broke. But we were happy because we were happy
Y'all
to
had
be
each
with
other.
each other.
Yeah.
So I want my legacy to be a legacy of love. That's what I want.
I'm gonna say for mine, since we're back to me. I want my legacy to be that we were fruitful, that we stood the test of time, and that we, like you said, we started with nothing, and that we built.
Yeah.
I feel like we've had lots and lots and lots, and still taking hits, but we're still standing, and we will continue to stand. And I'm just, you know, this like we said, time is now. It's turning, and I'm just ready to see what else is going to happen so that we leave legacy.
Yes, absolutely.
I want mine to be that I had a rich husband.
Yeah, make that money, brother. Make that money.
No, sir. I just want to get paid for all the pain and suffering
Oh my God.
and kids. No, sir. Just exactly what you said.
Yep.
Like Eric tells me all the time, "I love you, babe. Like you're beautiful." And because I have low self-esteem, I don't believe you.
Absolutely.
And so I just I don't
Absolutely.
believe it. I don't accept it. It's just like, yeah, whatever. But why you ain't post it?
Right.
It's dumb.
It's
dumb.
It is.
It's dumb. And so
Half of them people don't even like each other.
Right. They don't like each other. They posted all about each other, and they don't even like each other. I mean, for real.
Can't be real like that though, for real.
I want my legacy to be that my husband, and he knows I love him. I need to not be his protector sometimes and be his everything.
Yeah.
Like, not after I make sure everything is good,
Right.
but in the midst,
In the midst
of
of it, absolutely.
Like, I'm not just, okay, that's done now. Okay, now
I
babe,
can.
no.
That's me.
I need to do it
Yeah.
all throughout like he would.
Yeah.
I had a day the other day and he sent me, that's why I said he must have knew I was having a day. Sent me lunch and stuff like that, and it was just like, I would have never,
Right.
I mean, he drive trucks, so I can't really,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but like, how you know?
Right.
Right.
And so that's another way that I know that he got his relationship. Like,
Yeah.
Prophet told me off before talking about, I said, well, he ain't never say no, and I had a little cancer scare. I said, but he ain't say nothing this whole time. She said, he don't got to say nothing. And he going to God on your behalf.
I know that's
Shut
right.
me up.
Right. Shut me right on up.
And I'm like, okay.
Absolutely.
Like, but
Absolutely.
I need to, I need the legacy of me as his wife
Yeah.
to be everything he needed and more throughout.
Yes.
Not at the end.
Not at the end. Not giving him the leftovers.
Correct.
I give it all to my job.
All in the
I
midst
give it all to the
to
church.
these kids, and
Yeah,
it's just
the
like,
kids.
and even today he said something so simple, like, cause them that middle set, they've been acting a fool, right? They ain't got their phones, they don't have the plug to the Xbox. I ain't seen your boy in a while, but it's just like,
Bye. I just thought about it. Goodbye, sir.
it's just like he was just like,
He's learning how to be a husband. Sorry,
because so the babe, they was late bringing Shannon and Shelby to the bus stop, so they had to walk them to school because nobody wanted to get up. So he was just, because they don't have their phones, of course, so they don't have an alarm.
Yeah.
Y'all not gonna inconvenience me
Right.
on my sleep.
Right.
Y'all need to figure it out. So he was just like, you know what, babe, I'm gonna just get Eden and Eli an alarm clock since they don't have their phone. And it's just the simplest.
Yeah.
I said thank you
Yeah.
because I'm just like, because we have to handle everything.
Absolutely.
It's just, life won't be right if we don't put our hands in it. Like we don't have to do all of that.
Absolutely.
So it was just like, just that simple thing was just like, nah, if he ain't got it by Friday, I'm gonna tell in the group chat.
Right.
Like, I'm still waiting for these alarm clocks by Monday. They better be here. But yeah.
Cause you really would.
Come over here. Y'all better come get your brother.
Oh my god.
That's good. Kia.
I would say the same thing. I'm piggybacking off of all y'all.
Yeah.
First of all, I just want to say I love my husband because he's super funny.
Yeah.
Like we're goofballs.
Yeah.
So, and I grew up pretty spoiled, guys. And so me and my husband did everything together. So I think I want to leave a legacy, a wife legacy of knowing that we did make it all the way through. All the dreams and aspirations that we had, that we spoke about, and where we're at now is a testament to where we were before.
Absolutely.
Because I think, like you, I wasn't really letting him lead because what I mirrored seeing what my dad did. So if he wasn't doing it fast enough, I was on the phone with my dad. Having him, and my dad literally had to step away.
Yeah.
So, to let my husband be the man, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And it takes that sometimes because we can get in our ways
Absolutely.
and just stay stuck in that and not really just move so fast and not let them have the time because they don't process it how we might.
Right.
You get what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
We look at the little thing, they just like, this only one thing. I don't know why you
picture.
right. So, basically just knowing, because, that he knows that I love him because he's more acts of service.
Yeah.
He's cooking.
Yes.
We got different days, football,
Yes.
it's basketball season right now,
Yes.
but we doing that all together. Like,
Yeah.
and we got 2 grandkids and that's another thing. Just, building something for now my daughter's 23 and my son is 14 and, just being better, being better than what we were.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's the most important
That's
thing.
the most important.
Being better than what we were. Of course, we loved our kids and we always provided. They always had a home and things
Yeah.
like that. But just showing them
Yeah.
that just this is where we are.
Yeah.
We're much better, and God is in the midst of everything.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So just incorporating that,
Yeah.
just what y'all, everything
Yes.
that y'all
Yeah.
said, I agree to. So
Yeah.
yeah, so.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you had on your mind to talk about? Anything you want to share? If you could give another wife advice, we know what we want for us and everything. And I will. Teacher Cassandra said, "This is just amazing. Now go home and just thank them." Wink, wink. And y'all know I'm nasty, right?
Well, you know.
And we ain't.
She never told me about the shower curtain.
Oh, teacher. Now, teacher ain't never
need
tell.
to join the live.
She need to join the
Come on
live.
now.
I'm just waiting to give her invitation.
In the room.
Now, teacher ain't never tell me about the shower curtain either.
Shelly
But
knows.
Shelly has taught us,
Oh.
right? Teacher gave Shelly. Shelly gave it to us real good, right? I didn't really, me and my man have been together, y'all know, since we were 14 and 16. So I feel like nothing could ever top what we have because we grew together.
Right.
He learned me, I learned him, so nothing could ever top us. So one of the things that I was going to say about restoring is sex. It's our medicine that gets us through anything. Okay? It gets us through anything. I could not have talked to this man for 3 days and look at him like it's time to blow my back out. And he going, oh, you hear it? Right. This is why.
I'm so glad Travis don't know how to get on.
He watching with Bree.
Oh, he is. Oh, look.
See, he
Oh,
texted
God,
Eric.
I ain't gonna talk about that.
Teacher said the shower curtain works. Shelly said, Jesus. I'm going to
And
have
you know
to
what,
have-
Rachel's
Teacher
a
need to
mess.
join the live. I want to know.
Yeah. Shelly, that's how we get them boots.
y'all.
Text me, teacher. Text me.
See, text her. Listen, this is why I need my studio because, and I need my husband not to be there
Right.
because,
Gosh.
listen,
Babe, log off.
Right, get off
Psycho.
your phone.
no, Bishop said no, TMI. I wasn't going to get into details.
adults.
What I'm
Mary.
saying, right?
We are adults.
I'm a 40,
And ma-
I'm about to be 43 years old. Okay? Husband,
Oh, my daddy ain't
TMI.
on you. Look, my daddy
Right.
ain't on
It's
you.
not, I don't want to give you our ins and our outs, what we do and what we don't do. But I do want to say physical touch.
Yeah.
Sex is the glue.
Yeah.
It is.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Michelet said it such a good way. Sex is the glue.
This one.
I said, y'all know I'm nasty.
I just want y'all to know I'm getting my
I look back when I'm in church and y'all see me walking. And I know what? I can't really walk. I gotta go get muscle relaxation
Daddy, I'm cutting the camera off now.
because I got a back spasm. Look, the live done froze. He said nasty DMX. The dog. Get at me, dog.
Oh, Lord.
Get at me, dog. He know what's up.
Rachel, I'm crazy.
Okay. Teacher Cassandra says she's going to give a class, and her grace, her etiquette is going to be so much better than mine.
Yes.
But the point of me saying that was everybody has, things that they do. Me and my husband, and I think I just want to say the importance of that.
Yeah.
Because so many people do use, like how Bishop said, praise is a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Sex is a weapon.
It is.
And people use that weapon against. So that's where, like, when women say like that they don't give their husband none because you know, they mad at him or things like that. I could never,
You can't really,
because it's about me. Like,
girl, cut the camera off. I'm cracking up.
I'm
No,
just
this is
saying,
funny.
like, I've never
I get
been
it.
the one. Yeah, I've never been the one to withhold from him because of anything, because that's my bonus. That's my blessing. I prayed over that thing. God, do what you do. Build him up, oh God, in his most holy faith.
I love Rachel. She gets on my nerves.
Absolute fool.
I want to be honest and say I pray about everything.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And like I said,
Yeah.
I grew with my husband. I
Right.
grew up with my
Yeah.
husband. So is it crazy of me to pray God make us have... Apostle used to tell us she was speaking tongues. I ain't doing all of it.
Uh-oh, get in trouble.
It's time for me to be quiet.
Are you doing good, Ray? That's it.
Okay.
Don't say nothing.
Teacher Cassandra said witchcraft is witchcraft withholding. Because you're controlling. It's like a control
Oh,
thing.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it's like a control
But I
thing.
do
You know,
hear that
people
a lot.
do witchcraft to control
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
You withhold it, you're trying to control how they react or how they act. You know that man can't function at work if he don't get none. You understand what I'm saying? I can't function at work if I don't. So I know, you know, after such a point. So I'm just sharing that because not everybody uses things to their benefit,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, no.
And it is a benefit to you and it is a blessing to you to have a spouse. So many people covet what you have. And so I just encourage people, if I was going to share something with people, is that reconnection. Sex is a connection.
It is.
And it causes a connection. And I'm not telling you what works for one may not work for the other. But for me, if I ever feel far apart from him, I need to make that connection. And once I make that connection, all of the memories, the good memories, start coming back, you know. And then I'm thinking about him for like 3 days afterwards until I get a refill. It's like, he's like mine, you know.
Lord Jesus.
So, and teacher said she got an 800 Tylenol for me. Thank you, teacher.
Straighten that back
All
right up.
my ladies know. I'm like, you got any pain medicine? Okay. But yeah, so that was my advice that I would share. That was my advice. I went along all around the track to say, whatever is the connection for you that you and your spouse have established, keep that. And when you lose yourself, find that thing and get back to it.
Yeah.
What is your advice? And then we wrap it up. If you have advice you want to
Girl,
share.
you summed it up.
I summed it up.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We team connection. All connection.
All connections, okay? Conversation, love, all that good stuff. My sister
but
said
like
I'm
you
teaching.
said
Thank
earlier-
you, Lady Lisa.
Like you said earlier, having married friends,
Yes.
it is necessary.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea. Like you just have no idea.
Yeah, somebody, Edna Carrington, is
My
that one of your
cousin.
people? Your cousin. She said earlier, married people have married friends.
It's necessary.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Rachel May,
For
you are
real.
crazy.
I remember my husband saying to me, like, I'm like, why you gonna hang out with such and such no more? And he like, I don't be hanging with niggas that be outside with. I mean, like, you know, and he just now really got married, you know, earrings,
Right.
you know, it's just, but it's like that mindset, and I get, and not saying that it's some married couples that still not doing the right things, but I'm
Right,
just
right,
saying, but still surrounding yourself, like she said, with married couples.
It was not one person when me and my husband was going through all that in the first 5, 6, 7 years. Not one who told me to leave that man. Nah, Shy, we about to pray.
Yeah.
Oh, and the brother, because if you close to me, you my sister, and you my brother. And like I said, who I love, he loves. And so it was just like, because we are rooted and grounded, and God, the husbands would know. it's a pillow talk. Maybe one of my sisters talk to their husband,
Right.
and now you go talk to your brother
Right.
because we got to do this together. It
Absolutely.
takes a village with your
It really
children.
Absolutely.
It takes a village with your spouse,
Yes.
and you can't come up in here.
Right.
Right.
Everybody can't.
Everybody
Everybody ain't
can't.
invited.
That's
Yep,
a fact.
that's true.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so happy, y'all. I think this
Yes,
was really,
this was
really
nice.
good. So many comments. I'm just going real quick because I do love our Living Well audience. So real quick before we close out, I'm going to just read a few of the things that some of the women said because this was their advice to other women. And it was, I really asked, what's something that you wish you knew before marriage? And one of those things was, men don't know what a dirty clothes hamper is.
Oh, yeah, I seen that. I seen
Preach.
the girl with that.
Okay? Ladies, if you're going to get a husband, you're going to pick up clothes. You're going to pick up socks. You're going to pick up drawers. It's all right. You better be happy you got socks
There
and
you
drawers
go.
and clothes to pick up.
There you
Okay?
go.
Pick them up. All right. The burden of a wife to cover your husband in prayer. And we kind of talked about that with, whether your husband is a prayer or whether he is not a person that prays. You should always be covering your husband in prayer. And sometimes, one of the things that Bishop Hagee whispered in my ear to me, he said, I command the intercessor to rise back up in you. And I'm working on it intentionally because I recognize that until my husband is able to be the covering for my family, I have to be that covering.
Yeah.
And it is, and I don't count it as a burden, but it is heavy.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's a blessing to be able
Yeah.
to cover
Cover
my
us.
family
Yeah.
until he, such a time as God raises
Right.
him up to, but it is heavy and it is a cross to bear. And so that's a good thing. Ladies, cover your husbands in prayer. Cover your families in prayer. Blending families. Wives get to set healthy boundaries, yet be flexible. Blended families, we have some of those. My husband is not my oldest son's father either. We met when my son was 6 months, but we were teenagers, so we didn't live together
Right.
until my son was probably 8. I think when Christian was 8, that's when we got our first apartment. That's when Jerry came and lived with us. But he was always in his life. We were at his house all the time, and but when you have a blended family, learning those dynamics and being flexible and allowing that person to be a father to your child and not blocking access. Because God has blessed you with somebody who also loves your children. Allow them to be a parent. Allow them to be whatever it is they feel comfortable being. Jerry never beat Christian a day in his life. He wasn't the disciplinarian. I was the disciplinarian.
Right.
But when he needed to have that stern conversation or whatever, definitely did. We talked about the pillow talk. Pillow talk with your man, but use wisdom. Just use wisdom. Michelle said, marriage is not all rainbows and sprinkles. Rainy days with heavy storms. You need to navigate them together. We've watched enough Lifetime movies, enough Hallmark. There's a difference between a Hallmark Channel movie marriage and a Lifetime movie marriage.
Yeah.
Okay, Lifetime movie marriages kind of show you some real stuff.
Okay.
Hallmark movie channels is not really realistic in these days and times. Do not set unrealistic expectations in your marriage. Everything is not going to be a Hallmark movie. Sometimes it's going to be a Lifetime movie. You can make it through. Sacrifice, equally yoked. It's okay. Shelly said this. What? Shelly said this, and I'm wrapping it up. It's okay to be the one to apologize.
Oh, yes.
Even if you're not.
Oh my!
It's okay.
Oh, the men is in here clapping, y'all. Trav, you clapping at home?
Oh wow!
It's okay
You did good, right? You
to
did say
thank
that.
you. See,
Right.
I'm growing. It's okay to be the one to apologize, even when you're not the one that's wrong.
That part.
Lead with love. It's okay to apologize. I'm learning that. You get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. That's it. All right. This was great.
This was fun. fun, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much for joining. We done went down. We had about 30 people up here. We down to 13, so that's how I know we running over our time. Thank you to our 13 who stuck in there with us.
Yes.
We appreciate y'all. Y'all know women can talk, okay?
Yes, we can.
I am going to ask Michelet if she would pray us out today.
Okay.
Yes. All right.
All right. Father God, we thank you, God.
Thank
we
you,
thank you for bringing us here together to talk about marriage, God.
Yes, God.
We know that it's something that you ordained, God. So we just lift up all marriages. For
Yes,
our marriages, God, for the ones who are watching, for the ones who have a desire, Lord,
Yes,
for the
Lord.
single women who desire to have a husband,
Yes,
Lord.
God.
God, we lift them up to you right now, God. We ask you to be in the midst of all the unions, God.
Yes,
God, we
God.
remove every strife, every negativity, even
Ooh,
after
yes.
we leave here today.
Thank
The
you,
enemy
God.
might try to have his way
right.
just
Thank
for the
you, God.
transparency. But God, we
Right.
cancel him. We bind the
In the
enemy up
name
right
of
now
Jesus.
in the
Thank
name of
you, God.
Jesus, God. And we thank you. We give you glory. We
Yes,
give you
God.
honor. We give you
Yes.
praise in Jesus' name.
Jesus'
Amen.
name.
Amen. Ladies, if you ain't getting nothing else, go home and thank your man tonight. Thank your man. Thank your man. We love you. Thank you for joining the Living Well. We will be back at you next Tuesday, 6:15, same time, same place. Holla at you, girl.
Bye.
Bye.